Maryland Real Estate License Exam Review. Question 1. During review of a cooperative unit in Bowie, the parties discuss the retention period when a Maryland-listed transaction does not close. Which term applies? Option A, 5 years after the listing date. Option B, 3 years after the listing date. Option C, 5 years after the license expires. Option D, until the property is listed again. The correct answer is option A, 5 years after the listing date. The 5-year period is measured from the listing date in that circumstance. Closing minus based retention applies only when the transaction is completed. Maryland still requires preservation of the listing and related documents when no settlement occurs. Question 2. An exam scenario presents the Maryland professional duty concerning significant property information. Which answer is most accurate? Option A, do not guarantee future resale profits. Option B, disclose known or reasonably knowable material facts. Option C, verify a recommended home minus improvement contractor's license annually. Option D, avoid prizes, lotteries, or contests used to influence a property sale. The correct answer is option B, disclose known or reasonably knowable material facts. Technical matters should be referred to qualified specialists when needed. The licensee should make a reasonable effort to ascertain material facts about property accepted for agency. Intentional concealment and negligent failure to investigate obvious issues can both support discipline. Question 3. A licensee preparing for a settlement preparation must recognize the Maryland contract requirement concerning title and settlement services. Which concept does this describe? Option A, do not require the buyer to use a particular settlement minus service provider. Option B, earn at least 70% on each portion. Option C, provide the required buyer selection notice in the contract. Option D, antitrust law. The correct answer is option C, provide the required buyer selection notice in the contract. The notice informs the purchaser that qualifying providers may be selected by the buyer. Omitting the language can expose the licensee to discipline. The protection promotes competition and prevents coercive referrals. Stressed about your AccuPlacer? We can take AccuPlacer for you remotely and undetected. We always guarantee a pass and payments only after results. To send us an email, scan the code or tap the link in the description and let's get it done. Question 4. Which answer correctly classifies a situation involving the Maryland requirement when a licensee advertises the sale, rent, or purchase of real property in the contract revision described? Option A, avoid the words real estate or real estate brokerage in the team name. Option B, show the broker or branch manager telephone number. Option C, present a true and non-misleading picture. Option D, disclose the advertiser's license status and broker relationship. The correct answer is option D, disclose the advertiser's license status and broker relationship. A salesperson or associate broker must also identify the broker on whose behalf the advertisement is made. The public should know that the advertiser is acting as a licensed professional. Failure to provide the information can be grounds for discipline. Question 5. At a financing review in Hagerstown, Talia explains the usual deadline for Maryland agency disclosure to an unrepresented transaction participant. Which real estate principle is involved? Option A, no later than the first scheduled face-to-minus face contact. Option B, a written brokerage agreement. Option C, explain the differences among Maryland agency roles. Option D, treat every party fairly and honestly. The correct answer is option A, no later than the first scheduled face-to-minus face contact. The disclosure identifies whom the licensee represents before substantive and minus person dealings progress. The rule prevents consumers from misunderstanding the licensee's loyalty and role. When first contact occurs through another medium, representation must be disclosed through that same medium. Question 6. A transaction file for a single-minus family home raises an issue involving the maximum administrative monetary penalty Maryland may impose under the cited disciplinary section. Which answer best resolves the classification? Option A, avoid prizes, lotteries, or contests used to influence a property sale. Option B, a penalty of up to $5,000 per violation. Option C, do not guarantee future resale profits. Option D, disclose known or reasonably knowable material facts. The correct answer is option B, a penalty of up to $5,000 per violation. Separate violations can create separate penalty exposure. The Commission considers seriousness, harm, good faith, and prior violations when setting an amount. The fine may be imposed instead of or in addition to reprimand, suspension, or revocation. Question 7. Which concept should a salesperson apply to facts involving the deadline tied to a successful Maryland examination result? Option A. Apply within 30 days. Option B. Apply within 2 years. Option C. Apply for licensure within 1 year after passing. Option D. Apply at any time without score expiration. The correct answer is option C. Apply for licensure within 1 year after passing. Waiting beyond the permitted period can require additional examination steps. Prompt application also allows the candidate to complete brokerage affiliation and fee requirements. Maryland requires successful candidates to complete the original minus license process before the passing score expires. Question 8. Malik is studying a rule concerning the Maryland advertising requirement when a salesperson or associate broker uses an individual phone number or email address. Which term should be chosen? Option A. Include at least one licensee team member's name. Option B. Present a true and non-misleading picture. Option C. Disclose the advertiser's license status and broker relationship. Option D. Show the broker or branch manager telephone number. The correct answer is option D. Show the broker or branch manager telephone number. A personal contact detail cannot appear alone in a manner that suggests independent practice. The rule applies to consumer-directed promotion across communication media. The required broker-level contact information makes the supervisory connection clear. Are you looking for AccuPlacer actual questions? Visit our website pokerexams.com to access AccuPlacer study guide with actual questions and answers. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description to get AccuPlacer answer key today. Question 9. When a retail suite transaction involves the method a Maryland listing minus side licensee uses to satisfy disclosure duties while holding property open to the public, which answer identifies the controlling concept? Option A. Display the commission open minus house notice conspicuously. Option B. No later than the first scheduled face minus to minus face contact. Option C. Treat every party fairly and honestly. Option D. Present written offers and counteroffers promptly. The correct answer is option A. Display the commission open minus house notice conspicuously. The official notice informs visitors that the licensee present represents the seller or lessor. It must remain visible and use the commission minus prescribed form rather than an altered substitute. A private scheduled meeting may trigger different written disclosure steps. Question 10. A practice question describes the listing licensee's Maryland duty in a covered residential transaction. Which response is best? Option A. No duty to disclose a death or felony occurrence as a property defect. Option B. Inform the seller of disclosure or disclaimer obligations. Option C. Inform the buyer of statutory disclosure rights. Option D. A hidden material condition posing a direct health or safety threat. The correct answer is option B. Inform the seller of disclosure or disclaimer obligations. The licensee is not required to conduct an independent property inspection solely to complete the seller's form. The seller must understand the state form choices, timing, and latent minus defect responsibilities. Proper instruction and delivery protect the purchaser's statutory rights. Question 11. During a due minus diligence meeting, which principle is illustrated by the Maryland procedure when a party fails to complete the transaction and the broker intends to distribute trust money under statutory authority? Option A. A non-interest bearing escrow or special account. Option B. Keep trust money until an authorized disposition occurs. Option C. Provide notice to both interested parties before a good minus faith distribution. Option D. Notify the commission in writing within 10 days. The correct answer is option C. Provide notice to both interested parties before a good minus faith distribution. The broker communicates the intended recipient before releasing the funds. Interpleader or continued holding may be appropriate when the broker does not make a discretionary distribution. The decision must reflect a good minus faith reading of the contract that created the trust. Question 12. Which answer states the concept associated with the general Maryland rule for a salesperson or associate broker receiving payment for brokerage services? Option A. Accept payment directly from any client. Option B. Accept payment from a settlement vendor. Option C. Accept payment from an unlicensed referral source. Option D. Accept compensation only through the affiliated broker. The correct answer is option D. Accept compensation only through the affiliated broker. Statutory exceptions must be applied narrowly and documented. The supervising brokerage controls compensation and transaction accounting. Direct payment from a client, vendor, or other person can violate the license relationship. Question 13. A tenant handling a small apartment building in Frederick must identify the consent required before a Maryland broker or qualified branch manager acts as dual agent. Which choice is correct? Option A, written informed consent of all parties. Option B, do not reveal a client's negotiating limits without authorization. Option C, assign separate intra-company agents to the buyer and seller. Option D, disclose offered financial bonuses to each party. The correct answer is option A, written informed consent of all parties. A buyer or seller may refuse consent and is not required to accept the conflict. The consent form must comply with Maryland's content and affirmation requirements. Dual representation creates conflicts that must be explained before the arrangement proceeds. Question 14. During a buyer consultation for a rental home in Baltimore, Wendy needs to identify the rule described as the Maryland limitation designed to prevent a team from appearing to be an independent brokerage. Which answer applies? Option A, disclose the advertiser's licensed status and broker relationship. Option B, avoid the words real estate or real estate brokerage in the team name. Option C, include at least one licensee team member's name. Option D, include the licensed brokerage name conspicuously. The correct answer is option B, avoid the words real estate or real estate brokerage in the team name. Advertising must directly connect the team name with the brokerage name. The team name must not mislead consumers about who is responsible for supervision. A team operates within the licensed broker's business rather than as a separate brokerage. Question 15. A buyer representative is reviewing a condominium unit in Ocean City. Which term describes the authority needed for a Maryland broker to invest trust money? Option A, notify the commission in writing within 10 days. Option B, keep trust money until an authorized disposition occurs. Option C, written instructions or written agreement of the interested parties. Option D, a non-interest-bearing escrow or special account. The correct answer is option C, written instructions or written agreement of the interested parties. The broker may not place client money in an investment based on unilateral judgment. Written direction identifies the permitted account or investment arrangement. Records must remain available for inspection and accounting. Question 16. At a contract revision, a Maryland exam candidate encounters the following description: the management step required for each Maryland real estate branch office. Which concept is being tested? Option A, appoint an unlicensed office administrator. Option B, allow each salesperson to supervise independently. Option C, transfer all supervision to the landlord. Option D, designate a branch office manager. The correct answer is option D, designate a branch office manager. The manager's oversight duties apply to salespersons and associate brokers registered with that office. The broker appoints an individual responsible for supervision at the branch. The broker retains overall responsibility even when a manager is designated. Question 17. Owen is assisting with a duplex transaction in Towson. Which principle applies when the facts involve a required subject in the Maryland written representation disclosure? Option A, explain the differences among Maryland agency roles. Option B, display the commission open-house notice conspicuously. Option C, treat every party fairly and honestly. Option D, disclose representation through the medium of first contact. The correct answer is option A, explain the differences among Maryland agency roles. Consumers must be able to distinguish seller agency, buyer agency, subagency, dual agency, and intra-company representation. Understanding the roles supports informed decisions about entering a brokerage agreement. The disclosure also describes fairness, confidentiality, material-fact, and offer-presentation duties. Question 18. Which answer most accurately identifies the state body responsible for licensing, examination, regulation, and discipline of real estate licensees in a real estate transaction? Option A, the Maryland Association of Realtors. Option B, the Maryland Real Estate Commission. Option C, the Local Planning Commission. Option D, the Maryland Department of Assessments and Taxation. The correct answer is option B, the Maryland Real Estate Commission. Private trade associations do not issue Maryland real estate licenses. The Commission acts to protect public health, safety, and welfare through professional regulation. It adopts and enforces rules within authority granted by statute.
Stressed about your FCLE? We can take FCLE for you remotely and undetected. We always guarantee a pass and payments only after results. To send us an email, scan the code or tap the link in the description and let's get it done.
Question 19. A question arising during offer review concerns the Maryland duty when a licensee offers a contractor's name to a client. Which choice gives the best classification? Option A, disclose known or reasonably knowable material facts. Option B, do not guarantee future resale profits. Option C, verify a recommended home-improvement contractor's license annually. Option D, avoid prizes, lotteries, or contests used to influence a property sale. The correct answer is option C, verify a recommended home-improvement contractor's license annually. The client must be told where the licensing information is available and the date of verification. The statute treats this referral differently from several other listed service providers. The licensee checks the contractor's status through the Home Improvement Commission each year before making the referral. Question 20. While analyzing a vacant parcel, Hector must apply the concept involving a central Maryland advertising requirement for licensees and teams. Which answer should be selected? Option A, avoid the words real estate or real estate brokerage in the team name. Option B, disclose the advertiser's licensed status and broker relationship. Option C, show the broker or branch manager telephone number. Option D, include the licensed brokerage name conspicuously. The correct answer is option D, include the licensed brokerage name conspicuously. Misleading presentation can support disciplinary action. An individual licensee's name or contact information cannot obscure the broker relationship. Consumers must be able to identify the brokerage responsible for the services. Question 21. Which real estate term is defined by the Maryland licensee who may serve as the dual agent in an authorized intra-minus company transaction? Option A, the broker or designated branch office manager. Option B, assign separate intra-minus company agents to the buyer and seller. Option C, disclose offered financial bonuses to each party. Option D, do not reveal a client's negotiating limits without authorization. The correct answer is option A, the broker or designated branch office manager. An affiliated salesperson cannot simply appoint themselves to represent both sides. The dual agent manages the brokerage conflict and assigns separate intra-minus company representatives. Confidential information remains protected except when disclosure is legally required. Question 22. In a transaction involving an office building, which rule controls when there is the Maryland duty when a broker offers affiliated licensees bonuses for selling or leasing brokerage minus listed property? Option A, do not reveal a client's negotiating limits without authorization. Option B, disclose offered financial bonuses to each party. Option C, written informed consent of all parties. Option D, the broker or designated branch office manager. The correct answer is option B, disclose offered financial bonuses to each party. Transparency allows the parties to evaluate the licensee's advice with full knowledge of the conflict. The disclosure alerts clients to a compensation incentive that could influence recommendations. The bonus does not eliminate the duty to act in the client's interests. Question 23. A appraiser asks about the confidentiality rule governing price and terms in Maryland dual agency. Which answer provides the legally accurate concept? Option A, written informed consent of all parties. Option B, the broker or designated branch office manager. Option C, do not reveal a client's negotiating limits without authorization. Option D, assign separate intra-minus company agents to the buyer and seller. The correct answer is option C, do not reveal a client's negotiating limits without authorization. The seller's willingness to accept less and the buyer's willingness to pay more are protected information. Protecting these facts prevents one side from gaining an unfair bargaining advantage. Motivation and urgency are also confidential unless disclosure is authorized or required by law. Question 24. Nora encounters a Maryland duty owed in residential brokerage relationships during an inspection period. Which principle should guide the analysis? Option A, a written brokerage agreement. Option B, explain the differences among Maryland agency roles. Option C, no later than the first scheduled face-to-minus face contact. Option D, present written offers and counteroffers promptly. The correct answer is option D, present written offers and counteroffers promptly. Delaying an offer to influence compensation or outcome can breach professional duties. The licensee transmits written proposals in a timely manner even when the property is already subject to a contract. The client, not the licensee, decides how to respond unless lawful authority provides otherwise. Question 25. Which choice best matches the description? The total statutory membership of the Maryland Real Estate Commission. Option A, 9 members. Option B, 7 members. Option C, 11 members. Option D, 15 members. The correct answer is option A, 9 members. 5 members are real estate professionals and 4 are consumer members. Geographic qualifications apply to designated professional seats. The body combines professional expertise with consumer representation.